the story begins. My first apartment was on the second floor of a very old building. The kind of place with long, dimly lit hallways and floors that seemed to groan with every single step. I was only 19, and just happy to have a place of my own. The third floor was supposed to be vacant. The landlord told me it was empty, just a storage space they were going to renovate soon. For the first few months, everything seemed normal. If I heard a strange noise from upstairs, I just chalked it up to the building being old. Nothing more. But then, the noises became more specific. It started with a sound, a single, distinct sound, directly above my bedroom. It sounded like a marble being dropped on the wooden floor. I'd hear the sharp tink, and then the faint, lonely sound of it rolling, until it stopped. The strange part, it would happen at the exact same time every night, just after 2 a.m. It was weird, but I convinced myself it was just pipes, or the building settling. I had to. A week later, the sound changed. It wasn't a marble anymore, it was footsteps. A slow, heavy tread, pacing back and forth across the length of the apartment above me. From one end of the room to the other. Back, and forth. For hours, my unease grew into genuine fear. I knew for a fact that the third floor was empty. It was just a storage space for old furniture. That's it. One night, around 3 a.m., I couldn't take it anymore. The pacing was relentless. I grabbed a broom, and I banged it on my ceiling as hard as I could. Hey, cut it out up there. I yelled. Silence. Instant, complete silence. The footsteps stopped. A wave of relief washed over me, but it was short-lived. A few seconds later, I heard a new sound. A sound that I will never forget. A scratching, a slow, deliberate skrahab, coming from the exact spot where I had just hit the ceiling. It sounded like fingernails, dragging slowly across the floorboards. My blood ran cold. I didn't move. I didn't make another sound all night. The next day, I called my landlord. I told him I thought a squatter was living on the third floor. He sounded annoyed, but promised to check it out. Later that afternoon, he called me back. I checked the entire third floor, he said. The door was locked, just like I left it. There's no one up there. The place is filled with junk, covered in a thick layer of dust. If someone were walking around, there would be tracks. There's nothing. It's empty. I felt like an idiot. But the explanation didn't calm my nerves, because that night, the pacing started again, right on schedule. Only this time, it felt different. It was faster, more agitated. And as I lay there, frozen in my bed, a new sound joined the pacing. A low guttural humming. This went on for 3 more nights. I was barely sleeping. I started staying at a friend's place. Finally, I decided I had to see for myself. I had to know what was up there. The landlord had mentioned a fire escape, one that ran up the side of the building during the day. I climbed out my window and onto the rusty metal stairs. My heart hammered against my ribs as I crept up to the third floor window. It was grimy, covered in years of dirt. I wiped a small circle clean, and I peered inside. The landlord was right. The room was filled with old furniture covered in white sheets, like lumpy ghosts in the dim light, and everything was blanketed in a thick, undisturbed layer of dust. It was completely still, completely silent. I was about to climb back down, convinced I was losing my mind, when I saw it in the far corner of the room, partially hidden behind a stack of old boxes. There was a small, clear patch on the dusty floor, a perfect circle. And in the center of that patch was a single, small, black marble. I just stared, confused. Then my eyes adjusted to the dim light, and I saw something else. Something that made my breath catch in my throat. On the ceiling of that third floor apartment, which was the underside of the building's roof, there were dozens of long, deep scratches. And right above that little cleared patch on the floor was a dark, almost sticky-looking stain. It was then that the truth hit me, a horrifying, sickening realization. The sound wasn't coming from someone walking on the floor of the apartment. Above me, it was coming from something on my ceiling, something that was right above my head. In the crawl space every single night, I never went back to that apartment. I broke my lease, packed my things while the sun was high in the sky, and never looked back. I still don't know what was living in that crawl space, but sometimes, when it's late, I can still hear the sound of that single marble dropping. Story